It's October Breast Cancer Awareness Month in honor of survivors and support of those in the battle in memory of those we have lost. Welcome to Survivor Sundays. My guest today is joining me now. Hey, sexy cat.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
Good. How are
I
you?
am wonderful. I'm so good. I'm
Thank you
so
so
good.
much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for
So,
having me.
Marlita Blackman, aka Marley Black, aka Marley B in the
What's
house.
up?
My friend I have known for just about 20
We
years,
have. We
and
go
we've
way
done a
back.
decent job making sure we keep up with one another.
We
We got to
do. We
do
do.
better.
We do.
We
Yeah.
do. We do. But we've known each other for so long, and I'm so happy to have you join me here today.
Thank
As a
you.
survivor, I think it's important to share your story. It took me a minute to get there because in the beginning, I was like, oh, I just don't want to even think about what I went through. Then I realized, you tell your story, you change a life. So I'm there.
And it takes a minute to get to that point. You know that your obligation is to do that
That's right.
eventually, but you have to be strong um and steadfast and making sure that you're being faithful to God, because he's like, wait a minute, I pulled you through this. You have to share your story.
That's
But
right.
it's like, I have to be ready for
That's right.
that. And I know you and I talked about, because just to let everybody know, she called me fussing at me,
Okay,
Lord.
I'm about to get, and that's why I said we got to do better. I'm going to explain why I said
You can
that.
share with
Okay.
everybody. You called me fussing at
I
me
was so
like,
upset.
listen.
So this is what happened. First of all, let me go back about 20 years. You and I
Okay.
met at a very young age.
Yes, we were young.
We
Young and
started our
hot. We still
careers.
hot.
We still young. Started our careers pretty much together. You on the road in the sales department, sales area, me on the road, the programming area for 97.9 WJLB. Back in the day, we used to call it FM 98 WJLB.
Right,
And
right.
you were
And not
selling
to mention, we
pizza.
thought we were the it girls, because
Right?
like working for JLB, you were a celebrity. You really were.
Yeah. We were the it girls. We still are. So, you were doing your thing, making all
Mm-hmm.
that money, bringing all that
Yep.
money in. I was on the air and we were just
Yep.
doing our thing. So that's
Yep.
how far we go back. So
Yep.
like I said, we've kept up with each other over the years. Just love
Mm-hmm.
you to death and
Love
your
you too.
family.
Thank you. You too.
So you were one of the people who actually delivered food to my home as I recovered. And that meant so much to me. I had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of support, but for you to come in and take time to do that really meant the world to me, because after surgery, you're on your back for however
Mm-hmm.
long. For me, it was 6 weeks. You can't cook, you can't clean. So things like that, you will always remember when people step in to help you in that way.
Yeah.
Little did I know, about 2 years after that, you would end up with a similar
1 year.
diagnosis. It was
Not
only
even
one
one.
year. So I'm scrolling. I hadn't talked to you in a couple months.
Right.
Scrolling. And there's a post, and I think the post I saw was several pictures of you in different stages,
Mm-hmm.
and something about surviving. I said, but the what? Survive what? She
She
didn't even
picked up
tell
the
me.
phone and called me.
I got out of Instagram. I got to your number and I called you. I'm like, wait a minute. You're
Mm-hmm.
not, what?
Yep.
Please catch me up. I was really like, why didn't you share that with me? So tell me what happened. Tell me what happened.
So everything, and I don't know if this happened for you, but everything just seemed to last year, literally the same. What's today? The 7th?
Yeah.
That today, last year today, which is
Well,
interesting that we're
today,
doing
is
this.
it the 11th? Today's the 11th.
Okay, so the 7th
Okay.
was last year. The 7th, I first of all, so my one of my best friends is my OB, and we were hanging out, and I literally leaned over to her as we're having drinks, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I don't feel well, and she's like, okay, well, come see me tomorrow. So I did. She got me in. She did the whole makeup. Now I'm a every year mammogram person, right?
Yeah.
And I never believed that you needed to be 40 to do it. I think I started doing it like at 35.
Wow.
And
That's smart.
reason being is because one of my employees was 26 and had breast cancer. So I
Wow.
was like, forget that, I'm going to start going early. And
Right.
so when I went and got my results, well, they sent me something in the mail saying that it was irregular and they needed to do more testing.
Okay. Right.
You
Right.
know what I
Go
mean? So
back.
I'm like, okay, me with my, I'm my pushy personality, I go and see the radiologist and I'm just like, okay, whatever, do this now. He's like,
Yeah.
well, we need to get, a referral from your doctor. I was like, oh, that's all you need. I called her, like, send
That's
them the
right. That's
lady
my
so they
girl.
can do this. He was like, wow, you got it like that? I'm like, absolutely. So they did it right then and there. And it came back that I had triple negative breast cancer, which
One of the most
means
aggressive ones,
the
right?
most aggressive one, which means 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have survived it because chemotherapy and everything that they try to throw at you does not take with triple
That's right.
negative. And so freaked me completely out. And it was just like, well, my best friend Malika, she was with me and she started making all these appointments right away. Cause I'm like, what do you do now? Cause little
Yeah.
do you
What's
know.
the next step?
And that's your biggest question, because it's like even my girl who's my OB, it's like, I can't do anything now. At this point, all I can do is refer you to someone. And she did. And I'm not going to say any names, but the doctor she referred me to, I was just like, again, with my aggressive personality, I'm like, what do we need to do? Let's do it. And she's like, okay, I can get you booked for surgery. So she was going to do surgery first. But this is what I want to say to people that's watching, Cheron. I'm so glad you allowed this platform to happen, because me taking control over my health,
That's right,
and just being very aggressive, really that part of it, just without having support to have somebody else to think, because you're emotionally tied up
that's right,
with your life and what's getting ready to happen to your life. So you need somebody else to be there to listen and be your eyes and ears, because had it not been for my best friend Malika to say, no, we're going to get the second opinion,
that's right,
before you do surgery, because had I done surgery first, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
Wow. I did the same thing. I got a second opinion too.
Yeah.
Being an advocate for your own health.
That's right. That's right. And so that doctor, that second opinion doctor, he was just like, if he didn't even know I had a first opinion, he thought he was my first.
Right.
And he said, if anybody would have ever told you to do surgery first, I would question why, because that would have killed you. And I was just like, whoa.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely. So, I mean, getting back to why I didn't call you and all of that, I was just like, I'm not the woe is me kind of person or feel sorry for me. It's like, all right, this is in front of me. What do I need to do to deal with it? And let me deal with it and get it out of the way. But when I tell you, it was the hardest year of my life.
Had to have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the total 6 months of the hard chemo, which they call it Red Devil. That's the stuff that takes your hair out. And girl, one day they were like, okay, to the date, the doctor was like, you won't lose your hair in the first treatment, but you will start losing your hair on the 14th day after treatment. The 14th day, girl, I was like,
just patches just falling. Oh my God.
Crazy. Then your eyebrows, everything, and you're looking like an albino, and you're just like, you're crying because you look sick.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any hair. You just look sick. And you're just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? So all of those pictures the collage of pictures that I put up was my different stages, but I was masking it, because it's like the only people that knew was the people that knew, but the world didn't know. And I'm not the one to be like putting all my business out there, like, as I'm going through things. I put it out there after I was done with it to showcase God and show
that's
what
right.
He did for me.
I was really shocked when I saw that. But even before that post, I commented on the cutest picture of you with a short, I don't know if it was blonde or gray, whatever it was. And I said, hey, blonde ambition. Hey. Little did I know that the reason why your hair was styled that way is due to your treatment, your cancer treatment. I had no idea. No idea.
Girl, my hair grew back platinum gray.
Right. And that's the look.
That happened. Yeah. It's still platinum way. Like, and
Wow.
I'm never changing it. I'm not dying it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna rock it. You know what I mean? Like, if this is what God wants, this is what he wants.
You know,
And
every
so it is
person I've
what it
spoken
is.
to that have gone through what we have gone through has such a different story. Like for me, I had surgery. I didn't have to go through chemo or radiation. Some other people just have radiation and surgery. You had
Yeah.
all of it. That had to be
Chemo,
tough.
chemo, surgery, then
Then
radiation.
radiation. That
Let me
had to
tell
be
you about
tough.
radiation. So
Mm,
I scheduled my chemo treatments on Fridays because I still, I own my own company. So my clients didn't even really know what I was going through.
right,
And
right.
so I scheduled it on Fridays so I can have the weekend to rest, right?
Yeah,
So that next week I can act like I feel okay to
that's
do
right.
whatever I need to do, right? Just
That's right.
masking it. And I tell everybody, do however you feel, but that's how I dealt with this.
That's right.
It was all mental for me. So I had to act like I wasn't going through anything to get
Yeah,
through it, to have
yeah.
mental health. But that radiation, girl, was something else. It was every day. You had to drive there not once a week,
How many,
every day
how
for
many weeks?
33 days.
That takes
Can
a
you
toll.
imagine that kind of a
That takes a
commitment?
toll every single day. So how did you
Yes.
continue to work, run your own company, take care of your son through all of that?
This is gonna sound real jacked up. It I remember saying to so my girlfriend Audra, who
Yeah.
is a blessing, she took me to literally outside of Malika in the beginning. She got a promotion. And so my other girlfriend started taking over, and she
Okay.
took me to chemo every Friday. So she was a blessing. But girl, I can remember saying to her, dang, I wish the world would just stop
Yeah,
until I can get through this.
that's
And
right.
then coronavirus happened and the
Oh,
world did
and the
stop.
world did stop.
Ain't that some stuff?
That's
I was like, wait
crazy.
a minute, I'll have that kind of power. I don't want nobody to be dying and stuff like that. But I could not believe the world did stop.
And things changed for you as far as your doctor's appointments. Were you able to get in at that point?
My last chemo treatment was the week that the governor shut us down.
Wow. Look at God. Wow. That is
Then I had
crazy.
a break. I had several weeks break, and the surgery was scheduled. But I was like, I'm not going into a hospital where there is like the
No.
coronavirus. So that was something I had to get through.
Yeah.
And so everything just worked out. But going through cancer with the coronavirus happening at the same time, I wasn't obviously. I'm gonna say this. Carmano's was one of, I don't know who treated you, but one of the appointments was Carmano's.
Mm-hmm.
And when me and my girlfriend went down there to this appointment, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw all the Black people in the waiting room with cancer, like
And
a
that's
kettle
something.
call, girl, I was like, you got to get me out of here. I
That's right.
immediately teared up,
Yeah.
and I was just like, this cannot be.
Yeah.
So many Black people, and they all had cancer. And I was just like, this is definitely not where I want to have my treatments, or because this is
It's
that part of it
overwhelming.
was so emotional.
Overwhelming.
It was so, yeah.
And
So,
that's why it's so important for us as Black women to speak out,
yeah,
because diseases like this, COVID and the like, tend to hit our community the hardest. It
yeah.
just is what it is. So
Hmm.
early detection is key. It saved my life. It saved your life as well.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
guess the moral to your story, if I may say, is paying attention to your body and going right in, and
Absolutely.
being an advocate for your own health. Those are my takeaways
Totally.
from your story, for sure.
Totally. I mean, even
Yeah,
now, it's like every little thing is like, oh, that's not right.
right.
The other thing too is, it's all in diet.
That
I
part.
looked at your the young lady you interviewed last week,
Yeah,
and you guys talked about that, and it is.
yeah,
You talked about how you watch everything that go in your mouth, and you
hmm,
definitely have to,
yeah. You have to.
um, because it's all in what you eat. It's the government is not protecting our food like they should,
No, no,
and we
not at
have to
all.
be an advocate of what we put in our refrigerators, into our families' mouths. We have to be
Hmm.
an advocate for that kind of stuff as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually put on quite a bit after having two babies in 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And then
Well, you're
after that,
beautiful. Yeah.
dealt with my cancer diagnosis. And I tried to be nice to myself throughout the whole time. I still try to say nice things and kind things to myself. And finally, I was able to get a hold of, and I've lost maybe 30, 40 pounds, still have some more to go. But when you
Ah,
get closer to your ideal weight, it's put you in a better position for the cancer not to return. So if
yeah.
anything, vanity, health, whatever reason that you decide to do it, get down to your ideal weight. It's not easy, but it will many times save your life. Really.
Absolutely. And sugar is not your friend.
Not your friend at all.
Sugar feeds cancer. Sugar feeds diabetes. Sugar feeds everything.
Yeah.
So as much as we love it and it tastes good, like
Yeah.
you have to keep that stuff away from you. You just
That's
really
right.
do. Yeah,
So
you
what
really
got
do.
you through? What got you through your cancer diagnosis, your treatment, and your recovery? What got you through?
My bullheadness. I was like, look, you are not the
Gonna
boss of
take me
me. You
out.
are not going to win. You are
That's
not,
right.
this is not how I'm going to be taken out the game. And then
That's right.
um, what keeps me getting through, what keeps things not bothering me, I always say I protect my space and I protect my peace, and I'm more happier than I have ever been. You know
Wow.
why? Because I'd be like, you beat cancer. This is not that important. I
That's
don't care
right.
who and what you are,
That's
whatever
right.
you're talking about. I beat cancer.
That's
I'm a
right.
shero. You know
I
what I'm
really,
saying? Like,
that's right.
absolutely. Like, get out of here. Nothing is that important anymore.
That's
So
right.
I'm all, people are like, well, you got to grow. Well, I should, because you know
Mhm.
what?
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm
that's
here to
right.
tell the story. I'm here to live another day. I'm
That's
here
right.
to fight other fights. And
That's
so,
right.
yeah, absolutely. So what got me through is just me being determined to see the other side of this thing. My son, my baby, he's
Yeah,
17. It's his senior year. And like, I mean, it's just so many things I want to see with him and to continue to see. And he was just so strong through the whole thing. I mean, he was
amazing.
just really, really
The
supportive of me. And
love
that,
of a son, girl. Let me tell
girl,
you.
they
The
love
love
their
of a
mamas, right?
son. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean, just family and friends. I mean, everybody was just there for me, and
Mhm.
it was great. But for real, I was just like, I'm like, I have too much to do. I have way too. If I was lying down, it was really because I could not get up.
That's
But if
right.
it was
Yeah.
any little way that I could get up, I was getting up.
Let me tell you, when I was dealing with my diagnosis, I remember saying to my husband, you know, because it was such an aggressive surgery that they said I had to have a mastectomy. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is just how I go out. I had that
Yeah.
moment. And he
Oh.
was like, Cheron, we have built this family. That's not going to happen. We're going to get through it together. So between him, when you have children, when you have a mother and father and family that care about you, when I felt so weak in the bed for 6 weeks and couldn't even get up by myself, once I got beyond that, I had so much gratitude. I had
Mm-hmm.
always woke up, thank you, Jesus, for this, thank you, Jesus, for that. But it was like a different type of gratitude. Like, thank you for being able to get out the bed. Thank you
Yeah.
for being able to walk one
Yeah.
foot
Isn't
after the
that something?
other.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you,
take
thank you,
advantage.
thank you. So to
Mm-hmm.
your point, when the small things come, because they're going to come, they're so small now compared
Mm-hmm.
to what we have both been through. So just amazing.
That is so very true. It's just like, I mean, any little thing, it's just like you feel weak. You feel like, with me having to go through chemo, the doctors would tell me, they would say, and I had three great doctors, right?
Uh-huh.
All guys from the my breast surgeon, my oncologist, and the radiation doctor. They were just all three of them. I love them to death. But the
Yeah.
oncologist would say, I'm so sorry, I got to get this poison to your body. And it was just straight poison. And I mean, my friends, when they go to chemo with me, they're like, they could see how painful it was, and they'd be crying. And I'm like, they're like, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be crying. But they would
Yeah.
cry more than I would,
And
because they
you
could
would.
just see how them in putting that stuff in me, girl. They had to cut me. If somebody's watching, they have to, if you have to get chemo, you have to be cut, and
Yeah.
a port has to be put into a
In your
plastic piece,
chest, right?
foreign piece in
Yeah.
your
Yep.
chest,
Yep.
so they can administer this poison in your body. And so I mean, girl, it's a lot. Even thinking about it, it's like, oh my God, it was really a lot. So they have to cut you and do surgery, put you to sleep to put it in, cut you, do surgery, put you to sleep to take it out. So the past year, I probably have had about 4 surgeries just within the last not even 12 months.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you go through, the different things that you went through during this time, do you have the thought, like I do at times, like I went through that? Like, how did I get through that? And my answer is always the grace of God. Of course, the support, the friends, all of that, my inner strength, but the grace of God, because when you think about that, it's like, man, I really survived that. I really went through that, and I am okay. I'm better than I've ever been before.
It is. It's like when I think back on it, it's like I always say I never wish this on my worst enemy. I don't have any enemies, I don't think, but if I did really not like someone,
it's so bad you wouldn't even want them to suffer.
I would not. I swear. I really. And getting through that and looking back on, I do it every day. It's like, wow. Like looking back on it, I got through it because God said you're going to be okay. He told me that every day.
That's right.
And then looking back on it, he says, even now today, you're going to be okay. Like there's a bigger picture. And my ex-husband, Frank, he was like, girl, you got 9 lives. Like,
yeah. Isn't that something?
And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I do have 9 lives. Like,
that's right.
And I'm so happy for them all. Like, okay, like I don't know how many more I have left.
So what would you say to someone who was just been diagnosed? What would you say to that person?
Take a deep breath. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like your life is over. You are going to worry about your kids and your family and all your responsibilities. And all of these things are going to just rush through. All the natural things are going to rush through your head at once. But I would say take a deep breath, find that one person who can be strong to help you get through it.
That's right.
And you make sure that you get you don't just jump at the first thing that a doctor says. You don't trust what the doctor says. You do your own thorough research.
That's
and
right.
You find out what's best for you. Starts making sure things are set up. And what I did is the first thing I did, which is bad, after getting the doctor stuff together, making sure my son, all my stuff was together. So
that's right.
Don't wait till you get diagnosed to make sure things together. Do that stuff now.
That's right.
Look, I'm sitting there calling people like, okay, this is what I want y'all to do with Frank. This is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And like, you're not going anywhere. You don't know that. So this is how this needs to happen. So, but just take a deep breath because you're going to feel overwhelmed and talk to God. And he literally, when you be still and listen to God, he literally will tell you your next steps and what to do.
That's right.
He guided every step, literally every step.
Well, you were a beautiful woman 20 years ago, and you're even more beautiful today, and you have an even bigger story and purpose. And you're now not only my sister, but my sister on a whole nother level now.
We got to do this,
you
girl.
so
I'm
much.
So happy. I love you too.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you survived it all.
Thank you.
You're willing to share your story for Survivor Sundays. Let's shout out the caretakers, caregivers, I should say.
Yeah.
That, sometimes have it even as tough as we do going through it, just witnessing it. Yeah. And also make sure if you're watching right now and you've never had a mammogram, or you may be scared to get one, maybe you actually have history and you just don't want to know. You've got to want to know what is going on in your body so you can take care of it. Look at us. We are living examples that early detection is key. And it's nothing to be scared of.
It is not. The scary part is waiting and then them telling you it's too late. You should have been here 6 months ago.
That's right.
You don't want that to happen.
That's right.
You want to definitely make sure you get on top of it. And I do want to shout out to just really quickly the wonderful women in my life. Gina Troop, who is my childhood best friend and my best
I think
friend.
she's on the live right now.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Malika Ramsey Heath, who is amazing, my other best friend, and Dr. Amanda Yancey, who is the bomb OBGYN, Audra Hunter, who was just my savior. She was patient. She took me to chemo. This woman not only came to pick me up every Friday to take me to chemotherapy, but she had flowers. She had fruit, she had candy, she had, because I couldn't taste that it was a taste in your mouth. I just had to. She had everything that she thought I need that would comfort me. She did it, and she had it. And she has a very powerful job. She would take off Fridays and sit here with me until I fell asleep, literally. And that kind of support and love from someone, oh my God, girl, it's just unbelievable. So my son, just all the prayers and the love from all my family and my friends, it was really amazing. So yeah, they are the ones who get the big shout out. They're the ones who should be really uplifted as well, because I think that they go through it harder than we do sometimes to see their loved one in that much pain, suffer, and they can't really do much for them they want to. So I love them all. That's right. And thank you guys if you're listening. I just love that you guys were there for me. So it's amazing.
Marley Black, Survivor Sundays. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
We'll do this
Thank you
each Sunday. Oh, you're welcome. Doing it each Sunday in October at 2:00. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
For me. Love you.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.